Hello everyone, in this video we will be learning Geography Chapter 2 NCERT syllabus inside our Earth. Let's start. The Earth, our homeland, is a dynamic planet. It has consistently undergoing changes inside and outside. Have you ever wondered what lies in the interior of the Earth? What is the Earth made up of? Okay, in here we can see figure. I will highlight and show you figure 2.1 interior of the Earth. We have layers. Okay, let's now do the interior of the Earth. Just like an onion. Okay, what is an onion? It have many layers, right? Like that only. Just like an onion, the Earth is made up of several concentric layers with one inside another. Okay, you can, by seeing this figure 2.1, you can see right here is our Earth, but they just took the quarter part of it and showing what is inside the Earth. Right, here is crust. Crust is the outer layer. Let's learn here. The uppermost layer over the Earth's surface is called crust. Look, it is the outer layer or the uppermost layer. Okay, the next is lithosphere. It is the second layer. So, and then is mantle. That's the third layer, and the fourth one is just the core mantle boundary. Okay, here this is core, right, and this is mantle. That boundary is this line. Okay, now there are two types of cores, which is inner core and outer core. Outer core is outside and inner core is inside, deep. Now let's learn this one. It is the thinnest of all layers. Means the crust is the thinnest among the all layers. These are bigger than the crust, right? They meant that. Okay, you can, if you have the textbook, you can underline this one. Next, which I'm highlighting, you can underline, but not this. One second, but not. Okay, I will say you to underline crust. Then if you stop all layers. Okay, next, it is about 35 kilometers. Means this crust is about 35 kilometers. Underline this also if you want. On the continental masses and only 5 kilometers on the ocean floors. So you can underline this also. It is like, it totally have 35 kilometers. It's about 35 kilometers on the continental masses. Means on the continental masses, crust is only of 35 kilometers and only 5 kilometers on the ocean floors. In the ocean floors, there are 5 kilometers. Okay. The main mineral constituents of the continental mass are silica and alumina. You can underline the silica, alumina. You can underline or highlight. It's as you wish. Okay, but don't color it. Just highlighting. The main mineral constituents of the continental mass are silica and alumina. Means in this continental mass there is constituents. The main mineral of the constituent is silica and alumina. These are the main ones. And it is thus called Cl. You can also underline Cl. Cl means silica, C, alumina, Al. So Cl. Okay. The oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. Okay. The oceanic crust means we have ocean. That crust, the oceanic crust, mainly consists of. This is also the constituents, which is silica and magnesium. Okay, silica and magnesium, you can underline that, and it is thus called SEMA. Then Cl and SEMA aren't the same; they are different because this SEMA is the oceanic crust and Cl means the continental mass, so both are different. Just beneath the crust, just beneath the crust, just under the crust. It is mantle. Can you see here? Don't underline the mantle, just I'm showing you for explaining. Okay, just beneath the crust is the mantle, which extends up to the depth of 2,900 km below the crust. This mantle extends up to the depth of 2900 km. It's just below the crust. Next page. The innermost layer is core. You can see in this figure, right? The core. Innermost layer. Crust is the uppermost and core is the innermost. But don't confuse with the book. Innermost layer is core. You can underline this also. With a radius about 3500 km. It has a better color with another color in this page. It is 35 km. Or you do something. You can do it. It is mainly made up of nickel and iron. It is in the core. It is mainly made up of nickel and iron. It is called knife. Okay, here we call knife, but don't be like knife, because why? Because the here you can see in the bracket. I will don't underline that once, but see here knife. It's nickel only, so that's enough. And furious. Fe means furious because furious is example of furious is there. Example is iron. Means iron is the example of furious. So we call it knife. The central core have very high depth and pressure. Means okay, I will show you here. In this one we have inner core and outer core, but the central core it locates here somewhere. It has very high depth and pressure, right? Okay, next let's go to before that we can do you know, don't underline this. The crust forms only 1% of the volume of the earth. 84% consists of the mantle and 15% makes the core. Okay, this is actually important, but they ask you in exam, you must learn it. These are just word origin. Let's go to rock and mineral. Okay. The Earth's crust is made up of various types of rock. Any natural mass of mineral rock that make up the Earth's crust is called a rock. Underline this. Oops. Gone wrong. Okay. The Earth's crust is made up of various types of rocks. Underline this. Means the Earth crust. You can see here crust. It's made up of various types of rock. It's not like only one type of rock. It's various types, many types of rock. Various means many. Okay. Any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the Earth's crust is called a rock. This is also a good point. If you want, you can do it. This also. Rocks can be of different color, size and texture. Means this is the correct ones because the rocks can be in different color, right? In size also and texture also. Like all rocks can't be in one size. They will be in other sizes. One can be small, one can be big. Many. Like that. Okay, next. There are 3 types of rocks. Major types of rock. They're not simple type, they are major. Means they have many rocks, but these are the major types. They are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. These 3 are the major type of rocks. Okay, let's go through that. When the molten magma cools down, it becomes solid. Rocks thus formed are called igneous rocks. Look, when the molten magma means volcano. Let's check here. Yeah, here like this. This is the actually volcanic eruption, but magma is here. Okay, that when it cools down, it becomes a solid. Like that, the rocks will be formed. They are called igneous rocks. Okay. Igneous rocks are also called primary rocks. That's also a point you must learn. Actually, in igneous rock, there are two types of rocks in it. Rocks is one type, but in that there is two types. You can learn that. But don't get means you must have think like there are three types of rocks in igneous rocks, that are igneous, intrusive, extrusive. That's wrong. Here we have igneous rock. Wait a second. So here we have igneous rock, right? In igneous rock, there are two types of rock. Igneous rock is one type, right? It's a major rock, but in that there is two types of rock. Means igneous rocks are divided into two ones, okay, which are intrusive rocks and extrusive rocks. Okay, can you imagine lava coming out of the volcanoes? Lava is actually fiery red molten magma coming out from the interior of the Earth's surface. Lava is fiery red molten magma. It's a red molten magma. It's a fiery one, not a simple red molten. It's a fiery one. It rapidly cools down and becomes solid. It rapidly cools down and becomes solid. Rocks formed in such a way is called on the crust. Okay, in such a way, but they form on the crust, or simply on the crust, are called extrusive igneous rock. Okay, here extrusive igneous rock is here it comes out, and on the crust it rapidly cools. Such type of rocks are extrusive igneous rocks. Okay, next, they have a very fine grained structure. Means they have grain structure, which is basalt. Example basalt. And the Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt rocks. The Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt rocks. So next, sometimes the molten magma cools deep inside the Earth's crust. Means we have here volcano, and inside means deep inside the Earth crust it cools down, right? It cools down inside the crust. So solid rocks are found in that way are called intrusive igneous rocks. Okay, you can understand like inside means intrusive, outside means extrusive. That's easy method. So next, since they cool down slowly, they form large grains. Means when they cool down slowly, then they form large grains. So granite is an example for such a rock. Is an example. So grinding stones used to prepare paste or powder of spices and grains are made of granite. Okay. Rocks roll down, crack and hit each other and are broken down into small fragments. These small particles are called sediments. Means they are big rocks, right? And they roll down, they crack, they hit each other, they broke down, and they form into small pieces or fragments. These are small particles. The small particles are called sediments. These sediments are transported and deposited by the wind and water, etc. Means they are deposited or transferred with wind and water. They lose sediments are compressed and hardened to form layers of rock. They lose the sediments They are compressed and hardened to form layers of rocks. Did you find the word? Don't underline this. Compressed or hardened? There. Look here. In the middle of core, the rocks are compressed and hardened, right? That type we can form the layers of rocks. It forms. So these types of rocks are called sedimentary rocks. Means they are deposited, transferred, go into fragments, compressed, hardened, then form the sedimentary rock. It has a much process, right? Okay. For example, sandstone is an example. Okay, sandstone is made of grains of sand. How we got it? It has big sand. It makes it a sand. It is compressed and hardened in the core, in the middle core, and then it forms a sandstone. Right? These rocks may also contain fossils of plants and animals and microorganisms on them. Means in this plant, it contains fossils of plants, animals and other microorganisms that once lived on them. Okay, next. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rock under great heat and pressure. For example, clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. Means this igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rock. From before we learned igneous rock. Two types of igneous rocks are intrusive and extrusive igneous rocks. And now we learned about sedimentary rocks, and both can change to metamorphic rock with great heat and pressure. So like that, clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. Like that. Now, rocks are very useful to us. The hard rocks are used for making roads, houses and buildings. You use stone in many games. For example, 7 stones, hopscotch, cricket, or 5 stones like jitty. Find out some more games by asking your grandparents or parents or neighbors, because they must already know. They may play when they are small, right? Okay, this is an activity. But here what they say, they say hard rocks are used for make roads, houses and buildings. It's a type of building, red food, but it's made up of rock. Look, it's made up of red stone, red sandstone, and Taj Mahal with white marble. Next, you will be surprised to know that one type of rock changes into other type of rock under certain conditions in a cyclic manner. Okay, here we have figure 2.4 rock cycle. In a cyclic manner, this process of transformation of rock from one to another is called a rock cycle. This rock cycle is in a cyclic manner. It makes into a cyclic manner. Okay, next. You have already learned when it's molten magma cools, it's solidified to become igneous rock. Means when the molten magma cool, it becomes igneous rock. Okay. These igneous rocks are broken into small particles. They are transported and deposited to form sedimentary rocks. Look, first from magma it starts. Magma, igneous rocks, sediment and sedimentary rocks, and then with those we go form a metamorphic rock. When the metamorphic rocks are still under great heat and pressure, melt down to form molten magma. Have you understood this? First magma, then igneous rock, then sediments. Igneous rock broke into sediments, sediments into sedimentary rock, and this all into metamorphic rock. And metamorphic rock again changes to magma. So have you do this cyclic manner? It cycles around like a boundary. Okay. This molten magma again can cool down and solidify into igneous rock. Like I said you right, it's a cyclic manner of rocks. Next. I think this is the last para. Okay, rocks are made up of different minerals. Minerals are naturally occurring substances which have certain physical properties and a different chemical composition. Minerals are very important to humankind. Some are used as fuels, for example, coal, natural gas, and petroleum. They are also called used in industry. Iron, aluminium, gold, uranium, etc. in medicine, in fertilizers, etc. Okay, I hope you understand this lesson, and if you have understood, let's do this. Take the correct answer. Okay, the rock which is made up of molten magma is the first process is igneous rock. So we do for igneous. Use another pink. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, the innermost layer of the earth is first is core, then the first is crust and then core. Yay, correct. And gold, petroleum, and core are examples of. They are all examples of mineral we have learned here, right? Okay, rocks which contain fossils. Which are the rocks which contain the fossils? Show you. Here we have. These rocks may contain fossils of plants. They are sedimentary rocks. Understood? Okay. Thinnest layer of the earth is we learned in the beginning of the chapter. What is that? You comment down below. Because if I say all you, I don't know that you must learn or no. Just don't check it. Just go. Okay, fine. It's crust. You can go through this, and I hope you understand this lesson. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And for more updates, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.